Well, hello everyone. Going on a walk again this evening, and been thinking about encouragement. I wanted to share with you a story that happened to me, and then something I did to help promote encouragement, and I want to challenge you to do so. When I first graduated from college in 1994, Kelvin University, go Knights, I was going into the teaching field and got a job in a small town called Odessa, Texas. I taught 7th through 9th grade vocal music. Now, something about Odessa is that it's in the middle of the desert. And the only reason why it exists is because there's oil around. And Odessa is a twin city to Midland. Midland is kind of the white-collar part of the oil field, and Odessa was more of the blue-collar part. I worked in the school system in Odessa, teaching choral music. It was good. It was a good time. From a teaching standpoint, it was great. Loved it. The kids were serious about music. They loved learning, and they were patient with a rookie teacher. But it was a very stressful year personally. Coming from a land of Great Lakes, of many lakes, going to the desert was a huge shock for me. Into a place where people my age at the time were trying to get out of. Their goal was to get out of Odessa. So there wasn't a lot of things to do socially either. It was a very hard time. I flew back home to Michigan quite a bit during that time. But I kept teaching, and I fulfilled my contract and stuck with it, and had a good year. Flew back home to Michigan to start teaching in Michigan after that, and also start my job at a church called Hillside. Well, fast forward about 8 to 10 years or so after that, I had just started full-time work, I think, at Hillside. I was at my desk, got a phone call, and answered, and it was a girl who I taught in Odessa, Texas. She was a 9th grader when I taught there, and she called to say thank you. Thank you for persevering through a teaching assignment that her and most of the students knew was tough for me, being away from home. She goes, you taught me and us a valuable lesson of hanging in there, even though you didn't want to, into tough times. And I learned from you, she said, and I'm thankful for that time, and I thought you should know that. Well, I sat at my desk, stunned. It was an amazing moment for me. And one of the times where I felt truly, deeply encouraged in that I made a difference in God's kingdom, in someone's life. Well, I'm going to fast forward to about a week ago. I saw on Facebook that my first high school choir director was retiring from her job at Trinity Christian College in Chicago, Illinois. This is over 30 years ago, but that woman had a huge effect on me. Her encouragement, her enthusiasm for what I could bring musically was wonderful, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I enjoyed studying under her. I learned that music didn't have to be stuffy, that you could be a normal person and not be so uptight, as that was my experience with more classical type musicians. So I decided after I saw that post that I was going to encourage her. And so I wrote a note. I did it today. And just told her how thankful I was, and that in this time of face masks and COVID-19 and e-learning, that she had to end her time in that way. So I wanted to give her the gift of knowing that someone, even though it was more than 30 years ago, really appreciated all she did. So this week, in an effort to be encouraging, I'd like to challenge you guys to think of someone who impacted you in your development, whether it's spiritually or professionally, and reach out to them in some way. Let them know what they did and how they did it and why it impacted you. They'll appreciate hearing that, and I think it's something people could use. That's my midweek musing. Sorry for my occasional glances. People are giving me looks as I walk here. But that's all for today. Until next time, take care.